In our previous video, we talked about how Xavi should be managing Barcelona's midfield. I think it's only right if we do a video about our attack because I believe that we have a lot of improvements to make in our attack because it's very unlikely that we won't be able to sign any big names this upcoming season or even release some of the players. Like Ferran Torres and Ansu Fati, these guys are all saying that they will be staying at Barcelona for the upcoming season. However, we also heard that Manchester City wants to sign Rafinha. But before we get into all of that, please do subscribe to the channel as that will be helping us a lot in getting this channel to grow. So let's get right into the video and talk about how Xavi can actually improve our attack. My main thing with Barcelona wingers is the fact that on this left side, nothing really comes of it. I've talked a lot about it in previous videos where we have Xavi in this position right here. But the thing is, our wingers are mostly inverting, like Varane and Ansu Fati. It's mainly Dembele and Rafinha who really stays wide and actually takes defenders away from the center and away from Robert Lewandowski. But we need to teach this guy and these guys to actually keep the width and actually attack the byline. That is my main thing that I want to see from Barcelona players. We need to get them into these areas to cross the ball and cut back. We need to teach them how to keep the width because, like I just told you, we always see these guys that they want to invert. They want to be in these areas around Robert Lewandowski, and that is not a good thing, because that is just going to bring these guys in with and clamp the whole center actually for Barcelona, which that is what makes it hard for Lewandowski to move and find movements. But if you really look at these guys, you will realize that they are not really actually out and out wingers. Varane and Ansu Fati, that is. These are guys that are really almost like a second striker type thing, right? So we need to find a way to improve these guys so that they can stay wide and actually attack the byline, because that is going to be sensationally important. If you look at the likes of Jack Grealish, Pep actually improved these guys to be good to what he wants them to do. Another thing that we definitely need to look at when we are attacking is the fact that our midfielders are giving the ball to the wingers and they receive it really wide on this area. Oh, of course, that will be fine for somebody like Dembele because then he can take this guy on. But for the most part, these guys are too wide when they actually receive the ball. Now, I know I just talked about width. That wouldn't be a problem if we actually have our fullbacks or our actual midfielders or our free eights in these positions up here so that they can join with the guys. We saw that Xavi last season, towards the end of the season when the winger would receive the ball, Xavi actually made underlapping runs, and here and Rafinha could actually keep each other and give the ball to each other in those areas, because many a times when the guys receive the ball in this area, they have a lot of work to do because ultimately they would be with their back towards the goal or towards the opposition's box, right? So if we could just get this, where these guys can actually go and play with each other in these areas to get by and pass the ball and get the guys to run into these areas, So the byline, when we get into those areas, we need to improve our passing, our running, and actually not face the goal with our backs or would be with our backs towards the goal. So what is the solution for this? We need to get our wingers also to be able to receive the ball in the half space, right? Where our free eights can actually make overlapping runs. I've seen this with Bruno Fernandes at Manchester United and also Kevin De Bruyne and Gundogan even in the Champions League final. If you watch the analysis we had on that game, you would see that many times we found the free eights of City and United in these areas. We even saw that Xhaka from Arsenal did this, right? This is just to prevent these guys, our wingers, to, when we do the overload to isolate, that they don't really receive the ball in this area and then be with their backs towards the opposition box, right? So we can either have them overlap or also do the underlapping runs. So that would be a really good thing for us to do. Here we have a perfect example. Bernardo Silva is not receiving the ball way on the touchline, he's actually by the byline. And now you will see that Kevin De Bruyne is actually making a run around him, which leaves Camavinga into, should he go defend or go to De Bruyne or Bernardo. Over here you can see the exact same thing, the free eight in the half space and one of the guys overlapping. And that is how you keep width. You can see here Bruno Fernandes exactly the same. So we need to get this into Barcelona's wingers and free eights to do this. That is from the tactical side. But for the most part, I think Barcelona should really firstly get their mentality together, especially the attack. We need to take players on. We need to actually go for it. We need to develop our confidence. If you look at like Ansu Fati, it seems like his confidence isn't there. The same with Ferran Torres. I also see that Rafinha is also a little bit like shaky when it comes to the 1v1 situations. I don't know if I expect too much of these guys or from these guys, but for the most part, I just think that if you are on the training pitch every day, I mean, like, look at they got Jules Koundé and Ronald Araujo, for crying out loud. I mean, Xavi can really improve these guys. We don't need to go and look for other guys. We have Upday now coming in. We need to improve our guys on the pitch, especially in the 1v1 situations. Another thing that the guys also have to develop, of course, is the crossing. I only think that Dembele and Rafinha is really a great option when it comes to crossing. If you look, like I said, from the left-hand side, almost nothing comes from there. Mainly Jordi Alba and Balde. Those are the two guys that did crosses from there, right? But I want to see Ferran Torres going down there. I want to see Ansu Fati go down there, right? We need to get these guys to a level where they could actually go there and cross the ball, do cutbacks, even in the half space, get shots away, right? That is the kind of things that I want to see. Another thing we also have to get developed with our wingers specifically is the passing. We need these guys to pass. If you look at Grealish, I'm always making examples of Manchester City because these guys are the pivot of the winger situation. If you also look at Leroy Sané, if you look at Kingsley Coman, if you look at Neymar, these are guys that can do passes, even Kylian Mbappe. We need to get our wingers on a level where they could actually pass the ball without having any trouble doing it. Another thing, which is probably the most important thing or most important asset a winger can have, and that is to make it extremely hard for the opposition to take the ball off of you, right? If you look at Neymar is probably the most fouled player that we have ever had. Grealish is also stepping up his game. Kingsley Coman is amazing at this. Leroy Sané as well. So we need to teach these guys, and Xavi needs to look at this specific component of our wingers. How many times did you see Ferran Torres lose this ball this last season? How many times? They always lose the ball. If you look at Ansu Fati don't even have the guts to draw a foul or anything. Most of the time, he just let the ball roll on, and he doesn't even want to compete or contest. So making it hard for the opposition to take the ball is the biggest asset any winger can have. So that will be all from our side today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for you guys who has been always supporting me. Please let me know your comments down below, and also thank you very much for each and every one of you guys. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Goodbye.